it up, Badlands. Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Science proves that a healthy immune system is the body's first defense against the smallest of ailments to the most catastrophic. Coriolus versicolor is the most sought-after, all-natural supplement for both humans and pets to help boost the immune system. There are over 400 studies worldwide on its effectiveness in humans, including Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, MD Anderson Cancer Center, and now from the University of Pennsylvania School of Veterinary Medicine. Together, we can help reverse this terrible tide now plaguing your loved ones and give them the immune-boosting supplements that they need.
All right, it's 2026. Gym memberships are spiking. All the January joiners are hitting the weights, and resolutions are in full swing. What's up, Nate? How you doing?
I am doing excellent. I have a question for you, though.
Okay.
If I started going to the gym 2.5 weeks ago, does that make me one of the resolution junkies?
Yeah, 100%. You're totally a January joiner.
Dang.
It would have been January somewhere, right?
So I walked into the gym, dude, and one of the guys that I used to work out with, he was in there, haven't seen me for a year. He looks at me.
Where you been?
He's like, "You just here for the holidays?" But yeah, I'm that guy.
That's good, man. That's good. I haven't been to the gym in a week or two. It's time for me to be a January joiner. All right, we'll talk about some resolutions. I have a few that people have given me. I asked my private Telegram chat today. They were offering the resolutions. I asked for some more, and we'll cover some resolutions people have, talk about how we can stay consistent, and then we'll get into the week's MAHA news, which includes RFK Jr. confirming that the government is essentially going to stop paying out. How would we describe this?
There's no more financial there's no more financial
burden, financial
incentive for doctors
to push vaccines in their clinic, right? To hit the 80-90% benchmarks, at least from the government. You know, who knows what corporations will do? They'll probably still dangle the free trip to a golf course, week-long vacation in front of the doctor's clinics, but at least from Medicaid, from the government standpoint, they're no longer going to punish doctors financially for not hitting vaccine goals. We'll also talk SNAP, because given that it's now 2026, those states that took soda and candy off SNAP benefits, that is now kicking in. We've got a vitamin D study to talk about. Brand new study, pretty cool study, showing the anti-aging benefits of vitamin D. And also the EPA is now moving to regulate, can you say this word for me? Phthalates. Phthalates. Yes. A petrochemical, estrogenic, just gnarly toxin that's in hygiene products, also used in some industrial capacities. EPA is now regulating it, which is good. And we'll get to some other news as well. Resolutions, man.
What we got?
Hold on, I got to remove that, then add that. So this is what the folks in my chat offered for their personal resolutions. And only a couple of them had to do with health, which actually I thought was really cool. A lot of these are more so just people trying to be consistent with starting new things.
Yeah.
Somebody said that their resolution, their goal this year is to just have more inner peace, more personal strength, less overall anxiety in their life. Don't know the specifics on that one or what they're trying to do for that, but that's a good resolution. Another person said they want to start violin lessons. Violin lessons, make new friends in their small community, and start consulting with a small local healthcare center. So that's pretty cool. Getting into new projects, learning new life skills. Another person said that they want to do one project a week. Once every week, they want to work on a project just for enjoyment purposes, whether that's woodwork, art, scrapbooking. They want to try a new hobby and then be consistent with their diary, their life journal, which I also thought was some really good resolutions as well.
Definitely.
And then the health-focused ones, consistency with diet and supplementation. And then another person said detoxification and increase their amino acid intake. Amino acid intake, because they found that amino acids really help with their mental health. Getting the free-form amino acids in some kind of supplement and taking that regularly. So, man, when it comes to resolutions, man, there's so much... I guess, I don't want to say controversy, but disagreement, argument. Do they stick? Do they not stick? Do people stay consistent with them or not? I think it depends on the person. And a lot of times I think that people tend to create these really lofty, huge goals. Like, I want to lose 20 or 30 pounds this year by March or April or in a few months, right? They create these goals that are so big that it kind of gets lost in the ether to them. And then it's so overwhelming creating such big goals that's why they fail or don't stay consistent, is because they don't focus on those baby steps to get to that big goal. So instead of focusing on losing 30 pounds in 6 months, focus on losing 1 pound every 2 weeks. A lot easier to stay consistent when you work those goals in small increments. Or, I want to put 5 pounds on my bench press every 2 weeks, and then come 6 months you're benching 30 pounds more, or you're down 30 pounds, or whatever the case. So I think creating smaller goals is better. And then also, I think the reason a lot of people don't stay consistent is that their underlying motivation, their deep intention for why they have the goal, isn't in line with who they truly are. A lot of people's goals tend to be, what do I want to say, materialistic or superficial. It just comes down to look or aesthetics oftentimes. So if, and it's not in line with who that person really is. Whereas if their goal was to more so just feel better or perform better in life, or something specific pertaining to them, but something more in line with who they truly are, then maybe the pounds would kind of melt off as a side benefit with whatever goal they set for themselves. And then also action plans are important, right? So focusing on those baby steps, but also how are we going to get there? How are we going to get to better physical performance, or losing weight, or whatever it may be, the less anxiety, or the trying a new hobby, right? Like, what are the small incremental, like what exactly do you have to do? Nail down the details, nail down the specifics of what is going to help you hit that objective.
Well,
right?
And then how do you, I think a lot of things too is like celebrating the small wins is like, how are you going to know so if we take more peace in your life, how is that person going to know when they've achieved more peace in their life? Like, how are they going to measure that? I think that's huge.
You bring up a very good point as well, is that you need some measurable things, some quantitative things on that path to the objective too, right? So, weight, you can measure pounds, or lifting more, or increasing your, lowering your mile time, running faster, running more. You can have, if you're doing like the woodworking project, for instance, that you're accomplishing something because you're seeing that come into fruition. But in those like softer goals, I guess we could say, the less anxiety, the peace, I don't know, like, maybe somebody could track their blood pressure.
I typically flip off the bus driver 5 times a week over the last
I just want to do it 3 times
down
now.
to 2.
Yeah.
So that's
Instead
a
of
win.
every day, maybe just Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'll give them the bird, and then
There we go.
there you go. So
Life is more
creating things you can measure, super important as well. And if you guys have any resolutions, drop them in the chat. We'll add it to the list and we'll discuss. All right, let's get into news of the week. So RFK Jr. outlined key priorities for his 2026 MAHA agenda, focusing on reforming the nation's food system. Speaking of which, weren't we supposed to get that new pyramid, the new guidelines in December?
I thought so. That's what we were told. Apparently, they're hung up on what shape they want to do.
Is it going to be an octagon? Is it going to be a triangle? I don't know, man.
Color outside the lines. That's all I can say, RFK.
You're late. You're late, Robert. All right. And some of the 2026 food agendas for MAHA include phasing out artificial food dyes, which they are on the way to doing, revising the dietary guidelines for Americans, which we are waiting on. We just talked about. Establishing a formal definition for ultra-processed foods. Interesting.
And then what does having a formal definition allow them to do?
That's another darn good question.
Because we're actually going to be coming up here in just a minute. We're going to be discussing something that has to do with definitions and how they're using that against RFK right now.
All right. So establish a formal definition. And what are they going to do with what are they going to be able to do to the food processors with that? Enhancing safety standards for infant formula. That's what they're doing right now with Operation Stork Speed, making sure infant formulas are contaminant free and have higher nutrition. Also, a lot of those infant formulas have ultra processed foods. So,
yeah,
soy oil and high fructose corn syrup and garbage like that. Reforming the GRAS process for food ingredients, generally recognized as safe. Implementing front of pack nutritional labeling.
Ooh, there's going to be a lot of label designers and marketers that are going to be happy about that one. Think of the flood of business coming their way.
Yeah. Overhauling chemical safety reviews and strengthening the nutrition regulatory science program. Pretty cool.
Do it to it.
Do it to it. We'll see what 2026 brings for the MAHA. One thing it's bringing, or the end of 2025 brought us, was a federal judge in West Virginia blocking enforcement, or shall we say attempting to block enforcement of the ban on food dyes. Don't you love her name? Irene Berger. Berger. Dude, I got to look up a photo of her. If she's overweight, I'm going to die. Oh, my God. Bro.
Oh, you called it.
She been eating too many burgers. So, let me guess. What? Oh, appointed by Obama. I was going to say Clinton, but you knew it was one of those.
Yep.
We need the food dyes in our foods. How else will my Cheetos be orange? So the lawsuit was filed by the International Association of Color Manufacturers.
We're still on the burger screen.
The lawsuit was filed by the International Association of Color Manufacturers. So I'm assuming that is a lobbyist group that just wants that creates food dyes.
Yeah.
Red 40 and blue 5 and yellow 69. And they filed the lawsuit to keep food dyes in our food. Judge Irene Berger granted a motion for preliminary injunction in it. So
and I believe that this is the way that they were able to file this injunction was because of the definition of, because RFK used poisonous, and so they are fighting against that definition of poisonous. So
RFK is just going to do a study that shows it's technically poisonous, and then Probably why they want the technical definition of ultra processed foods as well. So dumb lawsuits like this don't have any legs.
Yeah. I would imagine.
That ban still does not go into effect for 2 years, actually. So. But you know what? I was looking at a label on a food product. I totally forget what it was, but I was surprised to see it was like a generic normie goislop kind of food. But I was actually surprised to see that it did not have food coloring anymore, and I think they had, I want to say, annatto or turmeric extract or something for like an orangish reddish color. But,
Heck yeah. Yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of that. I mean, like you and I have discussed in the past, we're going to see all of these things probably get removed quite a bit sooner than the 2028 date, just because of the complexity of trying to get
and
this
on that note, you might say, oh my gosh, 2 years, why not do it sooner? But the supply chains need time to catch up to that, right? So if all the giant food manufacturers instantly started going to curcumin for orange coloring or spirulina for blue-green coloring, that the curcumin or spirulina manufacturers wouldn't have time to catch up or beat for red. So you have to give the supply chain time to increase production to be able to catch up to it. So,
yeah.
Oh snap! Soda and candy cut for many Snap users starting yesterday.
I can't wait to start seeing all the freak out videos.
Do you think Irene Berger in West Virginia is going to be freaking out? Because apparently West Virginia will now limit what people can buy, along with Utah, Nebraska, Iowa, Indiana, I think at least 18 states. So
I noticed Montana was not on that list. Like, come on, Montana.
shockingly, Colorado is on that list. Uh-oh. Texas in April. Oh, gonna be a lot of big boys in Texas who are upset they can't get their Cheetos at Buc-ee's. Anyway, that's
yeah.
Vitamin D study. So, massive new vitamin D study just dropped. A 4-year trial with 25,000 adults across the U.S. found that vitamin D3 supplementation significantly preserved telomere length. Only 1 year of aging in 4 years.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but so telomeres, they're part of our DNA. And so as we age, the telomere is basically kind of like a knife's edge. And so every time it rebuilds itself, creates a new strand of DNA, another protein, whatever, it dulls. And so over time, that is apparently what causes us to age, is they just become less efficient. There's less energy there to create the next strand.
Yeah,
I know I'm probably way off, but
no, you pretty much have it right. So telomeres are these little bits of genetic code at the end of DNA. It's almost like I have I don't know if you can see that there. I'm like stretching the string on my pants out, but the thing at the end of like your shoelaces or the strings on your pants or your hoodies, right? They're like little caps at the end of our DNA. And it's actually self-repeating genetic code, so this little bit doesn't like caps the end of the strand of DNA. So each time the cell replicates, the telomere, like you said, becomes a bit shorter and a bit shorter. And if you are living unhealthily, your cells will replicate a lot more, right? And that telomere just dies faster, and then the cell completely dies once that telomere is basically done for. So preserving that telomere length. And each time the cell replicates, if you can have that telomere sort of stay long and refreshed, if you will, then your cell will be able to replicate for a longer period instead of only replicating so many times and dying. It can replicate more times and you get better aging. So,
then I'm taking more vitamin D3 just because of that. I mean, that's fabulous.
Yep. Well, especially your pasty ass in Montana over the winter, bro.
Yeah, man. I haven't seen sunshine in freaking like about 33 days now.
And you're not going to see it till late May.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, especially in places like I grew up in Western Washington, right? So it was basically gray for 5 months. And Western Washington is known for having incredibly low vitamin D levels and some of the highest depression rates in the nation, which, people that live around Seattle, no matter what time of year it is, I can understand why they're depressed, but very low vitamin D. So especially if you live in, people in Florida, if you're out all the time, probably don't need to take vitamin D any time of year. But, they found there's been some studies, even people living in Florida or California or Texas, even they have low vitamin D levels because a lot of folks are stuck inside at 9-to-5 jobs, and then they get in their car and drive home, and it's just their skin never touches sun. Or when people go to the beach, what do? We've been brainwashed to think we need to lather up with banana boat sunscreen. And then when we lather up with these toxic, shitty sunscreens, it reflects the UV rays off our skin. And then our body can't produce vitamin D because we need those UV rays to produce vitamin D. So that's why if I don't really wear sunscreen, I'm pretty anti-sunscreen. If I am going to be outside for more than a couple hours, I'll put on a zinc oxide based sunscreen. So it's not the kind of sunscreen that seeps into the skin. It more creates like just a barrier on the outside. But
do you like just do your nose? Just out of curiosity.
That's it. No, I don't know the last time I really have put on sunscreen though. Like some people find if they just cut out seed oils and cut out crap out of their diets, their body and eat better, their bodies are able to handle the oxidation from the sun better, and they stop burning as much when they just eat healthier and cut out the seed oils.
That's
I'm not
interesting.
Yeah. But anyway, 5,000 IUs during the winter every day.
I'm doing 10.
You're doing 10? Yeah,
I'm doing 10.
It's tough to overdose on vitamin D. You can, but you have to take 10,000 IUs for like few years to overdose on vitamin D. So 10,000 is good. I like to do 5,000 through the winter, and then in the summertime, depends on how much I can get outside. I might just not take it during the summer, or maybe 1,000 IUs or something like that. So,
Spotsel dropped a good question.
Spotsel always drops good questions.
I know, right?
Is it true that wearing sunglasses prevents the body from protecting skin and or creating vitamin D? I don't think so. Because if your skin gets the UV rays on it, your eyes are fairly, that doesn't necessarily matter. Although, from understanding, sunglasses, if you wear sunglasses too much, it can mess with your circadian rhythms a little bit. So your brain thinks, oh, it's getting darker outside than it really is, and your hormones will start kicking in to tell your brain, oh, it's nighttime, go to sleep. So I really only wear sunglasses if like I'm driving and the sun is right there or something.
I have heard that before though. I can't remember what it's called. There's a certain chemical, for lack of a better word, that your body produces as a result of the light entering in through your eyes. But our skin also has receptors in it as well that sense light. Like if you're sleeping, your eyes are closed and there's sunlight coming in through your window and it hits your skin, it does the same thing as if your eyes are open. So there's like a release of cortisol and all the other stuff that comes in. So there's a chance that sunglasses maybe interferes with that process a little bit, but I've never seen any legitimate science that proves that or not.
So get this, I have malabsorption. Take 300,000 units, like IU of vitamin D a day. Do you get that from a doctor? How do you even find 300,000?
Wow. Is it injecting liquid sunshine straight into your bloodstream?
Yeah, that's wild, man.
That is.
How do you even find that many IU a day? Interesting. Why D3 with K2? That's particularly for calcium absorption. So that's why people take vitamin K with D, is to absorb calcium properly. Your body needs the D, the K, the magnesium, boron, and strontium to absorb calcium. You don't need vitamin K, from my understanding. I could be wrong. Fact check me. Go to Grok or GPT. But you don't need vitamin K to absorb the vitamin D, but you need the K and the D to absorb calcium. So I don't take vitamin K2 with my vitamin D. My vitamin D I take is just D, but I do take a greens powder that has a decent amount of vitamin K in it, so I don't think I'm K starved. Amazon sells a 50,000 IU capsule. Interesting. Or sellers sell on Amazon that much. Wow. Cool. Now let's get into in an incredible development. RFK Jr. confirmed that in 2026, doctors will not be financially punished if their patients decline vaccines. And that includes religious objections.
Boom.
Here is that confirmation. Robbie Starbuck, 2 days ago, tweeted big change announcement for 2026. Doctors no longer financially punished if patients decline vaccines. RFK Jr. and Dr. Oz have a new directive that says Medicaid and CHIP payments will no longer be tied to prenatal and childhood vaccine numbers. In the past, some providers avoided patients with religious objections to vaccines because it could hurt their ratings and payments. That perverse incentive is now gone. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think getting into the financial incentives of medical professionals, I think the big thing too is, like if we go back 30 years ago, how many doctors operated independently versus today, I think it's something like 80 or 90% of doctors are basically employees of a medical center. And so if they can really start getting into the financial engineering of how all these things work, that's going to have a massive impact on long-term health, I believe.
Oh, wrong tube. Oh. Don't breathe their water, kids. Comment here. Some pediatricians refuse to see your child if not vaccinated. I dealt with that. I got denied. My kid was 1. It's like the first year or two he was born, and this is in Washington State, and we got denied by, I know, at least one pediatrician, maybe a couple, because he wasn't vaccinated. They wouldn't see him at all. And I just said, all right, bye, bitch. Go to somebody else. And I finally found one pediatrician who would see us, but oh man, got the runaround, man, got the talk.
Yeah.
Like, you need it. You should. It's just like, okay, sir. Man, so yeah, I mean, I have personal experience with that, and this is great.
Yeah.
No more financial incentive. But again, another comment from Eleanor. My grandson was denied after daughter chose to no longer vax. That's what we said. Now only treat everything at home. There you go. In Portland, we got kicked out of our pediatrician office after being there for 13 years because I decided not to vaccinate further. Wow.
All of you are awesome. And
You are all.
I saw a comment, badge of honor. That is a badge of honor. Your kids will definitely thank you for that.
Dude, 13 years is wild, though.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I just called the place. And I'm like, hey, can we come in for a whatever check? And I think we needed it for a daycare or something. And they said, nope, we won't see you. They asked me if he was vaccinated. I said no. And they said, sorry, find somebody else. But I can't imagine being with a pediatrician for 13 years. Then they nuke you just because.
I wonder how long until we start seeing, child care centers, schools, all of that, where you're not basically pushed out because your kid isn't vaccinated. I don't know how many things we got turned away from because our kids weren't vaccinated.
Well, first of all, we need to make sure these daycares aren't run by Somalians and that there's actually kids there. And then second of all, but but again, it's like, this is amazing that the government is getting out of the financial incentive business, but I'm sure there will still be, your Pfizers, your GlaxoSmithKlines, your other, whatever other vaccine makers there are, Genentech maybe, but they'll still be asking doctors behind the scenes, what are your rate numbers? Oh, you have a 90% vaccine rate. Here's a, week-long vacation to a conference we're having in Cabo. Come play golf. So they'll still be a little bit, but if the government gets out of it, then that's great.
Yeah.
Leering centers are certainly a thing, that's for sure. Grow up with a vaccinated kid, and that'll be about their reading level. Let's see. This was the Center for Medicaid announcement on that. So, Dr. Robert Malone says a restructuring of the vaccine schedule is coming soon. Remember, Robert Malone is on the CDC's ACIP panel. So let's. I want to see what he has to say about this.
Reports that HHS may radically change the current U.S. vaccine schedule to align more with Denmark's schedule.
It's not May.
Pardon?
It's not a May statement. It's a will statement. It's a question of when.
Okay. And I heard some reports saying that this would be in 2026 at some point in the next couple months.
Probably Q1.
Yep.
And this is a presidential directive to the secretary. Okay, so Trump, almost immediately after this ACIP vote that has resulted in a tiny incremental change in the hepatitis B schedule. I mean, the amount of drama around this compared to the nature of the change is enormously disproportionate. But
correct.
The president issued a proclamation to the secretary that he wished the entire childhood vaccine schedule restructured, and I think specifically called out the Danish schedule, and also, as I recall, Japan and was it Germany?
How many vaccines is on the Danish schedule? How many vaccines on?
I think it was like between 14 and 17.
Yeah, I'm not finding a quick. You might be about right. Denmark. I got one answer. Denmark recommends routinely vaccinating all children against just 10 diseases. And I don't think they start vaccinating for quite a while. Definitely
typically involves 11 doses total.
Wow, and we do at least 70?
Yeah, 72 I think is the.
I think it was 72 before COVID, and then once Joe Biden's CDC during COVID said yearly booster, right, which would have brought it up to 90. So my preference would be none, but baby steps.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff there. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick mid-show break. Word from a couple of sponsors, Rise Attire and Soft Disclosure Beard Oil.
Sovereign Alliance. The Sovereign Alliance are a collection of leaders and countries that are aligned not in the vision for their countries, but against a vision that has been thrust upon them. I believe that the Sovereign Alliance is less a battle for something and more a battle against something. They are against globalism, collectivism. They are against the rules-based international order.
Sovereign Alliance, the latest addition to Badlands Rise merch, available now at badlandsmedia.tv/rise.
Some of that beard oil.
Now that I'm alone, got the close up. Do you see how awesome my beard looks right now?
I use the beard oil every single day. First thing.
Comes out feeling all silky smooth.
I take the dropper and I manually apply the oil
To every
directly
hair.
to my mustache.
Nice and, oh man, I love it.
And then I do drops all throughout the hair. And then I just rub it all in. And then I top it off with the tallow stick on the face.
Dude,
I feel like I have to grow a beard just to try this beard oil. It sounds
Do it, Jay.
amazing.
It's all from softdisclosure.com, and the best part about it is you'll be supporting Badlands Media, Annie from Willow and Farms, and basically 3 of Annie's neighbors. So that's 5 total American companies that you'd be supporting with one purchase.
I have been using the Soft Disclosure scentless beard oil every day after the shower. It looks unkempt, but it feels silky smooth. I want to look a little wild and unapproachable, but for the woman I trust, she'll be like, oh, it's actually kind of soft. He is approachable after all. Otherwise, stay away. And Soft Disclosure will help you too with that if that's the very specific vibe you're going for.
That is very specific, yes. You guys are supporting American businesses when you do that. It's absolutely incredible, and you get a great, great product.
I want to assure you guys, we are much weirder behind the scenes than that advertisement portrays. Way weirder.
That was a great ad. Like I don't use beard oil, but now I'm thinking about going to get me some.
Yeah, we all got to grow it out now. You're gonna see the whole Badlands staff with just these long Gandalf beards,
Luscious beards,
dripping with beard oil. Soft disclosure. All right, into the EPA. If I can get the tab up, there we go. Exclusive. EPA Chief Lee Zeldin moves to regulate phthalates to protect workers and the environment. EPA announced on Wednesday that the agency will move to regulate dozens of applications of 5 widely used phthalate chemicals to reduce environmental and workplace risk. Gold standard science, et cetera, et cetera. The 5 chemicals are... Luckily, I went to a learning center, not a leering center, so I might have a decent shot of reading these.
I'm that's 100% you. 100%.
Butyl benzyl phthalate, dibutyl phthalate. Ooh, this would be all right. Dicyclohexyl phthalate, diethyl hexyl phthalate, and diisobutyl phthalate, which are common chemicals used to make plastics more flexible in things from building materials to industrial applications. So just makes plastic more malleable and ooey gooey.
What do you think, chat? I mean, I think he deserves a round of applause. Just a nice golf clap.
That's government education for you. So Badlands manicure set. Yeah, I could see BB painting his nails. For sure. All right. Phthalates. Less microplastics in our brains and our balls. Very good thing. So
now, if they would give some attention to pesticides, that would be great.
That would be great. Also, phthalates are used quite a bit in, speaking of manicures, nail polishes, hairsprays, aftershave lotions, cleansers, and shampoos. So, the Badlands beard oil has no phthalates in there. Softdisclosure.com, no phthalates in the beard oil. If you go get your Axe body spray and your Old Spice trash garbage,
man,
you're probably going to have some phthalates in there, among other petrochemicals.
Yep.
Oh man, dude, I'm on a kick right now of being anti-fragrance. I'm going full fragrance-free everything, laundry detergent, deodorant, everything, and I think that some perfume should be illegal. You're getting secondhand smoke from people's disgusting body sprays. I went to the post office today, and this woman drives up. She gets out of her Toyota something, I think she was driving, and she walks in the post office. I'm still sitting in my car. She walks out as I start to walk past her. She was probably a good 10 feet away from me, and I walked through her cloud of perfume that just emanated behind her. It was just like a 10-foot cloud that followed her around. And I actually gagged a bit. It was so, and she was probably mid-late 40s, but dolled up like the professional career woman type. And she just caked that shit on, dude.
Yeah.
Like, who are you trying to impress?
Can you imagine the people that have to work with her? Oof.
Yeah.
Pretty sure like all of the sensory smelling capacity has just been burned out of their faces.
Yeah. And then the dudes smell like Axe, right?
Yep.
Bro, you smell like Axe, like a high school gym. Perfume in the workplace is horrible. Same thing with guys' cologne, though, right? I mean, I think we're brainwashed to think this stuff smells good, but really what's wrong with the pheromones, man? What's wrong with the natural pheromones? That cologne will wear off, and then the next morning, what are you gonna do when you wake up next to each other? And it's like,
just hold here a minute. I need to go. I'm not gonna lie. Right? I mean, when I was a teenager, I remember driving around with a thing of Axe in my center console.
Was I an Axer?
That's when it was new, though. Like, it wasn't like, it was like, oh, wow, you can smell good from a pressurized can. This is fantastic.
I don't know.
I found a soap called Dirty Hippie, and it is basically patchouli. And nice. I've been using that for years, dude. Like, I'm probably like 15 years of like Dirty Hippie soap. I love it.
Yeah, I found a soap. It's called Chandrika. I think it comes from India. It has like 4 ingredients. I call it my Indian horse soap. And it's like $1.20 for a bar.
There you go.
It's great. It's simple. It doesn't smell all that bad. It's super cheap. Don't buy Squatch, people. First of all, Squatch got bought out by. We covered this. Do you remember who that?
Dude, that was like a year and a half ago. I don't remember who it was. I can find it.
Who bought Squatch soap? Unilever. Freaking Unilever bought Dr. Squatch. So Dr. Squatch sold out for $400 million. And their bars of soap are like $8 each. I'm exaggerating a bit. They might be like $6, but it's crazy expensive. So don't buy Squatch. Buy cheap soap. fragrance free ideally, or maybe a little bit of fragrance, but use some essential oils. I see a lot of people in the comments right now are just going to town with all the essential oils they use.
Yep.
But yeah, I had to rant on that for a minute because those perfumes, men's colognes, people will spend how many freaking hundreds of dollars on a cologne?
Yeah.
it's not that impressive.
Oh, that shit just goes straight in through your dermal layer. Like you're like soaking it into your bloodstream if you spray it on your skin. That's just nasty.
It is nasty. Fragrances from laundry detergents too, man. I gag when I smell people that use Arm & Hammer or Bounce. What are the other normie brands of detergent? Yeah,
I don't know.
Good. It's good that you don't know. That was a test.
I had to laugh at Spotzel. He dropped a funny comment.
He dropped a funny. Let's see Spotzel's funny. Oh yeah, I've heard of this one. Patchouli, the way to tell people you smoke pot without telling them you smoke pot.
Got to keep it undercover.
Dude, I like the smell of marijuana. That'd be a pretty good cologne. Not gonna lie. Not burnt marijuana though. That's disgusting. But just like the flowery CanCon, that'd be CanCon scented. Dude, Badlands needs a cologne. CanCon, and call it CanCon, and it just smells like flowery cannabis.
I grew legally for years, and you get some really funny looks from people if you smell like that.
It's wild, right? But then if you have like beer on your breath, they high five you and say, "Oh yeah,
American."
Yeah. Eau de CanCon. Some of these comments are cracking me up, man. All right. We'll go pretty quick through the rest of the stuff. We're already at almost an hour, and we're just having some fun. Dr. Oz and the Trump administration announced $50 billion in funding for rural healthcare, the largest federal investment in history, boosting hospitals, workforce, innovative services nationwide. That's pretty cool.
I wonder like where, okay, so 50 billion, that's a pretty big number. I wonder where that's going to go specifically. Like who is that actually going to? Is it going to these big ass medical centers? Like here in the Flathead Valley area, we have Logan Health, which I believe is a pretty large organization. Like, are they going to be benefiting from this? Where's that money? I would be curious to know where that money is going specifically, because if it's just going to these big centers, it's not helping. I should have looked into this before our show.
$10 billion is going to be given out every year for the next 5 years. It's going to approved states. So, I mean, I imagine Montana will get a share of it. You know, the especially the western states, the rural ones. Oh, here we have funding awards to each of them. So each state is going to get a couple $100 million. And it doesn't look like it's based on population as well. So, you know, Alaska is getting almost 300 million, but Florida is actually getting less than Alaska. So this is prioritized towards rural. I mean, this is awesome. I see life flight helicopters go over all the time because I'm the kind of person where no matter what I see in the sky, I bring up the flight tracker and I want to know exactly what that plane is and who owns it. So when I see the helicopters going over and it's not a military Black Hawk, it's usually a life flight helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
So transporting a car crash victim or somebody in a super duper accident. Rural hospital can't handle them, so they take a 2-hour helicopter ride to big medical center in big city. So this will be good. Hopefully that won't have to happen as much.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, how many is Wyoming getting? About 200 million. Looks like each state's getting about 200. between 150 and 300 million. So thank you for the Rumble rant, Iowa Farm Girl. Unfortunately, StreamYard does not bring up the rants on screen, so we'll do this. Boop. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Mad Bunger says, I don't mind the smell of pot, but I can't stand the smell of patchouli oil. Smell like a hippie.
But not a dirty hippie.
Cool. All right, good. Just checking out some more of those comments. Speaking of daycares, hopefully all that money won't be going to daycares. The HHS Doge team has expanded the Defend the Spend system to require all ACF payments across America to be justified. Since March 2025, Defend the Spend is applied only to HHS discretionary payments, which did not include the ACF payments. Over the coming days, HHS will expand the system to support itemized receipts and photographic evidence, i.e., show us the kids in your daycare. Give us a freaking picture of them. So,
first test: can you smell? Can you spell learning? That should be the first test. Just a simple response.
Second test: can you say learning, Nate? Can you say it in English? So yeah, that's dude. It's insane how much fraud is coming out now, and people are just rightfully pissed off over it and wanting a revolution and not wanting to pay taxes and all this sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. RFK explains why he fired Dr. Demented Demeter, who sounds like he was committing illegal activity and is the one who would wear black leather thongs and has a pentagram tattoo. What position was he in?
Ooh, I remember reporting on this. I don't remember what it was.
I don't want to look it up because I don't want his photos in my.
Yeah, we did that once.
On my history.
Hang on.
Or in my mind, burn my retina or something, but I can't. He was the one that had like a pentagram tattoo, super.
Yes. Yeah, I think he had. I think he was
like he would be a character in
communication.
Stranger Things, right?
Oh, here we go. He was. Come on. Director of National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases at the CDC. Yeah. The dude had issues. We'll just say it. He was gayer than gay, as Patrick Manuel 62 has said.
All right, let's get to some of these comments, man. Got some good ones coming in. Susan said, I rid my house of all plastics, fragrances, polyester clothing, no store-bought, and cleaners, etc. My home's air felt so clean. A cloud was lifted. I make almost everything we put on or in our bodies. That's... Polyester clothing is a big one. Big source of plastics from that.
Well, yeah, and a lot of cotton T-shirts are loaded with polyester too. Like it feels like it's cotton, but
yeah, it'll be like 90% cotton and 10% polyester or something like that. I've been on a big kick. Somebody asked me the other day if I knew a good source for like natural cotton clothing, and I do not, because recently, probably not necessarily recently, but over the past couple of years, I've been liking bamboo clothes. So bamboo clothing, it feels just like cotton, but it's a little bit better at moisture wicking. And with cotton, they spray a lot of pesticides on cotton here in America, a lot of pesticides, because cotton isn't consumed. So there's less regulation They can spray more pesticides on it since it's not a food. But with bamboo, I wouldn't say it's no pesticide. I don't know exactly how they grow it, but it's less than cotton. And so, you know, the polyester clothing gets me because I do like polyester clothes, at least for working out, but bare minimum, bamboo undies, man. Bamboo undies. No microplastics around the swimmers. So yeah, bamboo kind of feels better on the skin. Bamboo sheets are fantastic.
I literally have never tried anything bamboo, so I guess now I'm gonna have to do it.
I mean,
I
I
wish
wish
get bamboozled.
I wish industrial hemp was a thing and all our clothes were made out of hemp, but
It should be, man. Like,
yeah.
how come we don't see more of that? Especially after the 2018 Farm Bill. Like you would think.
All right. Damn good question here from Cyberspeed. Got a quick question on chlorine dioxide. Can it be used in a neti pot for clearing out nasal passages? Been having bad nasal congestion for the past couple of days. Ooh. I want to say I have done this before, but I don't know if I really did research on it before I did it. I believe but it was a long time ago, probably 10, 12 years ago, where I tried mixing up chlorine dioxide, let it sit for 30 seconds, then just add water right away and use it as a neti pot. I don't know. I wouldn't feel comfortable saying it's safe. I can say I've done it before and I was fine, but I just don't know if it was the smart thing to do. I would do a little bit more research on that.
Yeah, because that's so close to sensitive areas.
Yeah, it's right in your, like you said, real close to sensitive areas. I mean, I've breathed chlorine dioxide fumes in, I've put it on my skin, I've drank it, but we're talking about getting it close to like eye cavities and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna say yes. I'm gonna tap out. Check the research from Bolivia on chlorine dioxide used for COVID treatment. Yes, they did a study back in 2020. I was talking about that a lot 5 years ago when they did the chlorine dioxide, like actually somewhat of an official study for COVID treatment. They found it worked well, and mainstream media really attacked Bolivia over it because Bolivia is a real poor country and they didn't have many options during the height of COVID. So their government turned toward super cheap, effective chlorine dioxide for treating COVID. And mainstream media called them toxic death bleach drinkers, just like they called me that. So
I'm pretty sure that's when it was after, I think they were talking about the doctor that was down. I can't remember who the doctor was, but he was there helping them. And I saw one of his videos, and that's when I bought my first batch of chlorine dioxide. And I am still working through that batch.
Yeah.
That was like $40. And it's been with my family for the last 5 years. Phenomenal.
Interesting question here. If any of the hair growth things work, has anyone ever added DMSO to the formula to help absorption?
Oh, dude, I'm going to go to town on that one.
So they make copper peptide liquid. It's fairly cheap. It's not an injectable. It's just a liquid you're supposed to put on your scalp. And what do they call that copper peptide? GUHK or something. I wonder how mixing that in with DMSO and then putting it on your scalp would work. That's interesting. Yeah. That's a damn good point you bring up there, man.
And it's castor oil and rosemary too, I think, are supposed to be really effective.
Yeah.
I've been diving into it. About a year and a half ago, my hair just looked like somebody went through a forest and clear cut. As I was like, what happened? So I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try it. I will be a guinea pig.
Hemp is soft enough to compete with nylon. Can't take money from big oil, though. Yeah. There's one more thing I wanted to talk about, wherever that comment was, on ridding the house of everything. Home's air feeling so clean. I'm a big believer in getting an air filter for your main living areas. There's so much dust, so much crap, especially in our homes, especially during the winters when we're not opening the windows and getting airflow. All the dust and allergens and whatever the heck is in the air. Air filters in the home. HEPA filter. HEPA. HEPA filter. It's at least one in the main living area or in the master bedroom where you sleep for hopefully 8 hours a night. So
we got a HEPA filter / ozonator. So the ozone will turn on for like half hour a day.
Oh,
and yeah.
How much does that run you?
I think it was like $250.
Oh, not bad.
We're like 3 or 4 years deep with the thing so far, so no issues.
And how many, like, what's the square foot rating on it, or what do they say? How much area can it cover?
I think it's about 2,000 square feet.
Oh, it's like whole home.
Yep.
Cool. Nice, not
Yeah.
bad.
I didn't know we had any issues. We had a kid come over, one of my kid's son's friends, and he had like severe allergic reactions every time he was in our house. So I was like, what is in our house? So, man, we got air filtration everywhere now.
Thank you, Mima Hunter, in the chat from a quick DuckDuckGo search. Chlorine dioxide can be used in nasal irrigation. It's important to ensure the solution is prepped safely and effectively, as direct use in the human body is limited. Yeah, I was leaning towards it's fine, but I just didn't want to get myself in trouble with a.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest dangers of doing a nasal irrigation is that there's a
lot of the dangers in infection,
right? But there's like parasites that go straight into your brain, and
yeah, you can get an infection in the nasal cavity if you use not good water.
Yeah,
but if you're using chlorine dioxide, then that would help mitigate that. So
yeah.
Actually, in fact, it might be really good to do a nasal irrigation with chlorine dioxide. I know I've done it before. It was many, many years ago.
Putting your head over a pot with boiling water and oregano oil and breathing that deeply is a great way to get rid of infections. I was working on a wildfire and I had a terrible sinus infection, and we were doing mop up, basically, where you're putting all the stuff, any residual fires out. And there was this huge stump. It was probably about like 3 feet around at the base. And so we had, a huge water hose. We were blasting that thing. And I remember I couldn't get over this thing. So I put my face over it as all that steam just came up out of there. Breathed as deep as I could. It burned like heck. But the next day I was like 90% better.
Nice.
Boiling water is effective.
Nice. Cool. All right, guys. I think that about wraps it up for today's Maha News. We'll be back here same time, same place next week on the interwebs on Badlands Media. Nate Dogg, you got any announcements, promos, coupon codes you want to share with the Badlands fam?
Yeah, just use the code Badlands, just like it sounds. Badlands, you get 20% off, and we got our new stoked pouches. These things are loaded with CoQ10, PQQ, methylfolate, which RFK was talking about, the effective treatment, one of the treatments that they're looking at for autism. And organic caffeine paired with L-theanine, so it's just a really smooth, natural energy bump that is great. It's solid. So try them out.
Nice. And that's in your stoked pouch, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Stoked.
Try it out. Flowblend.com. That is Nate's company there. And then I've spent the last 48 hours real deep in launching a new website. So I've changed everything over to Shopify from Squarespace because I just needed some more functionality. And I've got a few brand new products I launched with the new website, a whole food vitamin C, whole food-based vitamin C, a parasite cleanse called Parasite. Have I told you the name of this? Is that the first time you're hearing about it?
Yes, dude. I hadn't heard
I
that
didn't tell
before.
you the name?
That's so good.
Parasite.
Oh.
Wormwood and clove and black walnut and Oregon grape.
That's amazing.
Yep, a parasite killer, and then vitamin B17 in a tincture form. I'm not going to say too much about that one. I haven't used it. I don't know anybody that's used it, but I'm just saying vitamin B17 in a tincture if you're ever...
Yep,
as in apricot seed extract, exactly, amygdalin. So some new stuff on a new site. One of the big problems I was having on Squarespace is that you could only subscribe to one product at a time, but on Shopify now, you are able to have a lot more functionality, and it's a lot better for everybody, me and customers. So you can subscribe to multiple products at a time and all that jazz. So go check it out.
That's awesome.
ConsciousDrink.net. Parasite. Yeah, I was trying hard. My kid's clever, so I was asking him, like, should I call it Paraslayer? He came up with like Parextinct, which is pretty good. I just didn't know how to write it. And then a friend of mine said Parashite. I'm like, that's
where
cool.
it's at.
All right, guys.
Have a good weekend.
We will see you here next week. You have a great weekend. We'll see how MAHA 2026 begins. I think Nate, you were telling me 2025 was rough.
Yeah, 2025 was rough.
It was rough. Yeah, it was. There were some rough points for sure. I feel like it was a roller coaster. There were like a few great times, a few real rough times. But for me, I think 2026 will be. I think it'll be way more better, way gooder than any of the previous years we've had.
I agree. I think there's an overall feeling, like when I talk to people about 26, a lot of people are pretty optimistic about what's coming. So
it's like I'm a really nostalgic person, and I think like 2017, 18 were like great.
Mm-hmm.
And I look back at those years, even 2019, it was like. Then for 5 years, we had to deal with freaking Joe Biden. We had to deal with censorship and COVID, and it was a mess. So Spoetzel says 2026 will be rougher and better.
Yeah, I just
think
tear off the Band-Aid, right? Let's just get it done.
Totally. The worse, the rough times make the better times feel good.
Yeah.
Eat them both. So, all right, guys.
Indeed.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you so much for joining us, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up on this video. And a special thank you to all of our advertising partners. Please remember to shift your dollars to support those businesses that support Badlands Media.